Lee Lawler. Newcastle United were in the Championship 6 years ago.
We were doing videos back then still.
5 years ago we got promoted back to the Premier League, and we were thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we could just stay up? Wouldn't it be nice if we could just stay up? Newcastle United are going to be playing Champions League football next season.
It's mental. We started this journey the season we went down under McLaren, and Rafa took over, and look where we are. Long time in the game, doing YouTube and all that, and we've just wanted a bit of hope for the last 6-7 years that we've been doing YouTube. And not just that, you look across all the fan base, they've always wanted hope, and the owners came in, 20 months ago, whenever it was. They've come in, they've just lifted the place as well. Amanda's in tears as well, so it goes to show you it's got to her, the emotions got to her as well. And it's great to see Yasser over as well, but it's what we want, Johnny. It's what we wanted. Someone shout my name, I don't know who it is, but Liam's in the background up there somewhere. He'll be popping on, but it's meant, Johnny, it's what we wanted. We can do videos in warm climate in Madrid or Barcelona. Well, it'll have to be the Olympic Stadium, Barcelona or wherever. It's going to be class, man. Who'll be getting the draw? Speak the devil.
Speak the devil. We've got Mr. Liam Kerr. Who are you trying to find?
It was no one. It was the academy players that came on at half time, I think.
Anyway,
future stars, not future nobodies.
Future Champions League players.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully.
Newcastle United 0, Leicester City 0, but that doesn't matter because we only needed a point. Who cares if it was 0-0? It's probably one of the worst games this season. But Newcastle United are in the Champions League, and this is a Champions League last word. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. You normally see how the last word goes. We go through team and positions, and we digest about the game, and we go through so much. But today we don't really need to, because we knew before a ball was kicked we just needed a point, Liam Kerr. We just needed a point to get to the Champions League, and we've done it. We've done it, man. I can't believe it. How mental is that?
It's crazy. We've done it in the most boring way possible, but it's crazy. It's just now we can attract the massive stars. We can attract the likes of constantly players that are going to improve, Bruno and things like that. So it's just onwards and up.
It very much is, and Lee, we'll touch about elements of the game in a bit, just as a brief summary. But what we did show today, before the game, in terms of the fans, it was that I think there was a calmness. I think we knew because we were so close to get over the line. And the fans and War Flags in particular, I have to give a shout out to them.
That East Stand one is
remarkable, isn't it?
Oh, it's just incredible. And normally we're in the Gallagher and we cannot see what's going on because it's normally the Gallagher that has the flags or the whatever, the banners, and it was nice to see looking across the East Stand. Occasionally the Leazes does, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. We knew something special was coming. That blew my mind, and you obviously would have seen by now, the time this video goes out, the scenes there, the picture was just they're a credit to our club.
They certainly are, and a big shout out to War Flags for all the work they've done this season, last season, wherever. It's been absolutely incredible. But Liam, in terms of the game, we'll touch about elements of the game, not for too long, because obviously the bigger picture we all know is Champions League mags, boys and girls. Liam, first half, well, before the ball was even kicked, Joe Linton was meant to start, but picked up an injury in the warm-ups. Elliot Anderson started, and the Elliot Anderson Alexander Isak link-up was trying to work. It had its moments. What did you make of that?
I just think Elliot Anderson was a bit scared personally. I think he just didn't want to make a mistake. I think that's what he was best way to put it. He just didn't want to make a mistake today, but he had an alright game. But yeah, I think it's going to be something we need to watch out for in the future as Elliot Anderson and Isak linking up, because they're going to be two phenomenal players. Well, they are phenomenal. They're just going to constantly improve.
Very much so. Probably we didn't really have many chances really in terms of Newcastle point of view in the first half. We had a couple cleared off the line, but Leicester were kind of, I don't know, just about in the game. Like Nick Pope's barely had to do anything in the whole game. We'll touch about him in a second about one massive save. But first half it was comfortable. Newcastle had a lot of possession, and Dean Smith was happy to take a point before the game by the look of it.
You could see why Leicester fans are negative, because that was Bruce football. From a Leicester point of view, They had they only sold like 1.5 banks or 2.5 banks. First of all, awful support. Your team is struggling. Go and support your team, sell it out. And now they're playing negative football. But Christ, your team, you can see why they don't. I can get the understanding, but go on, support, let your team. You're in a relegation fight. But you can see Leicester were just awful. It was a training match. It was like us 2 years ago.
I was just about to say that, Liam.
It was awful.
Vardy wasn't even chasing balls down like he used to. He just sort of let balls go and just Shaw and Botman to pick it up. So it just seems like their mentality's just totally switched. So I think it's between out of the 3 teams that can still get relegated, I think Leicester's definitely going to be one of them.
What I will say is how weird is it to see a team play a back 5, particularly in the first half, where it was us. It was us not too long ago, and it was like, we get used to this now. Now you kind of see with the shoe on the other foot going, bloody hell, how boring is it?
Yeah. It's just so hard to break down. It just honestly kills the game off. I don't think we had the creativity in midfield today to actually make a difference. I think we should have brought Maxi on a lot earlier than we did. But
do we need a James Maddison?
No, I think he's. There was a reason why he was on the bench today. It's clearly it's got to be an attitude problem, and I think bringing players with a wrong attitude could just destroy the whole team's dynamics.
We'll see.
I thought it was stronger when they brought Barnes on and Maddison.
So you're slightly opposite.
No, I understand his point, saying that the attitude problem, but I thought Leicester, I don't want to say grew into the game because they didn't until when we got nervy, last 5-10 minutes, because we knew that we just need that point, but I thought they were stronger. There were a little bit more fight about them when they had them changes, but look, he's the only player alongside Saka who's got double goals and double assists this season. He's a talented player. You leave Leicester and you look around and see all the war flags and, Do you
want him in a Newcastle shirt?
You would take him for 12 months left. His value goes down. Wouldn't pay any more than 40 million though for a player left with 12 months on his contract. But he will bring creativity and we'll need to strengthen. That's a video for another day. But if you go on in the second half, obviously we had the chance where I think it was Isak, where Everson's got a tip it over the bar. Obviously we had a couple clear fly in the first half. We hit the woodwork as well off Wes. He lives an own goal, didn't he? The Shikolicini. Nearly scored an own goal, but I don't think the goalkeeper was tested on either side tonight.
No, I don't think neutrals would look back and go, I'll have to make sure I Sky Plus that one and we can watch that later. But that was probably the best chance for Newcastle, wasn't it? Isak's shot, which Everson saved. It was a case that Newcastle could score. They had moments, but Leicester did well defensively. Do you think that it was a case that Newcastle, as the longer the game went, Liam, they knew they just needed a point, and sometimes you just go, we don't have to overdo it. We can play like how Leicester want to play it.
I think you're seeing that in the last 5 minutes. We're just passing the ball around the back. They just knew as long as we don't make a mistake here with Champions League, and I think that's all the players cared about towards the end, and that you can see why. Because sometimes when you go attack the other end, they just counter you and put one in the back of the net. So as long as we're Champions League, I think that's all this message was from Eddie Howe, is just get this point, and then we'll play Chelsea whenever this weekend, and then we'll just turn them over as well.
There was a point, Johnny. There was a point where Fabian Schär was playing midfield.
He was playing right wing in the first
half.
half.
He just didn't want to leave the right hand side, and he was like, he just stood there passes the ball then.
Because we had all that space. And I think it was the 92nd minute or something where Fabian Schär and Sven Botman are just passing to each other because the game, they just want the final whistle. Leicester want the final whistle. That's a great point for them, and it's a good point for us, not performance-wise, but we're just there now, and now we've obviously got it ticked off the Champions League, which is just mental saying that. It would seem a lot more calmer, but it wasn't 20 minutes ago in the stadium scenes. So if you haven't checked that video, please have a look. And it's excitement, Johnny. It's the dreams, it's the hopes. Johnny's got a twist to me come September and goes, Lee, I've got to pay my rent this month. I can't afford to go to Madrid. I need tickets.
Wait, you need a ticket?
And then it's not just that. I'm on about tickets to fly. Yeah. And then we need a ticket to the game. And then we've got to sort out hotels. All these little good problems that are going to come our way. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Liam, you were quite right. Towards the end, we were nervy. We were panicking. It got about 80, 85 minutes, and it was like, right, how long's left? Right, we're giving the ball away. Leicester haven't had no possession, but they've got a bit of possession. This is really annoying. The referee was rubbish all night and gave free kicks. Nick Pope didn't play in the cup final, and we were all devastated for him. Did he just make up for that, essentially, with that just one moment? Yeah. A fantastic save. He had nothing to do all game. And what a moment, what a big, big save. And that just shows how important he's been to us all season.
It was a brilliant save. I think he's probably been one of the most important players this season. I think if you've got a rock at the back, then your defence is trusted, and then you can just, his confidence runs throughout the entire team. So I think Nick Pope probably is arguably one of the players of the season this season. But yeah, that save he made, and I was thinking, fucking hell, we're like Champions League 2 minutes ago now, we're like maybe Conference League.
Do you know what it is? I had Steve's stream set up saying we're in the Champions League. I had Sam's thumbnail saying we're in the Champions League, and when Leicester were coming forward, I was like, fucking
save.
I'm gonna, yeah, it was a great save. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna have to change all these videos. Great save. And also, I've got a negative, but flip it on the positive as well. The negatives are we don't have to see the Fun 8 challenge ever again, thank God. But the positives were Yasser coming out to actually play. We knew Jamie Rubin was playing me, and I'm getting off topic. We're seeing Jamie Rubin go against me. They've got a bit of lad banter about them, and I like that. And Jamie Rubin absolutely floored me, Dad. What was it, 4-0 or something like that? Incredible.
Got one in the back of the net, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think Yasser done his knee. I think I was being polite, but yeah, that was good entertainment. Good, and Amanda was cheering them all on. And that's the things you love to see off the field, and that brings the community and the closeness that you have with the club.
It certainly does. After Nick Pope's save, Newcastle didn't know whether they were coming or going. They didn't know it was stick or twist. They didn't know who to pass it to. They booted it long, and Gordon won a header. Leicester didn't really want to do anything. They were kind of like, oh, we're not that massively bothered what to do, but there's loads of buses and police cars and everything. It's mental right now. But when that final whistle went, Newcastle United are playing Champions League football. Liam's going to try and find somebody else because that's what he likes to do. I never thought I'd say this, Lee, but let's hear from Newcastle United's Champions League manager, Eddie Howe.
And manager of the year.
And manager of the year, potentially, as Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, I can't even get my words. Eddie, Newcastle in the Champions League, man. Tell us all about it, man.
Yeah, it's a big relief, actually. An amazing night to see the supporters, and just the general reaction to what we've achieved is incredible. And yeah, it's been a great evening for us. Well, it certainly wasn't top four. Yeah, I think you always hope and you always believe, and I think you have to dream. But we didn't feel we were ready for that. And after last season's battle against relegation, it really was, could we consolidate and become a better team, and yeah, not have that flirtation with relegation that we had the season before, and try and grow. And the lads have just been unbelievable for me this year. I can't praise them enough. Their mentality, their attitude, what they've given me in the club has been incredible.
Now, if me and Johnny both had hair, we'll be letting it down at the minute.
And we're back.
Fucking hell, that was awful. I think I might just go now.
Wait until you see us after a few drinks.
Hear me out. Anyway, Liam, let's look at the Premier League table. Third in the Premier League, 70 points, 4 points out of Liverpool. 4 points out of Liverpool, and you took 6 points off us, and you still can't catch us, Liverpool. How mint is it, man? Champions League.
It's just brilliant. Champions League is going to be class, like the nights under the floodlights here, and the music as you're coming out playing against some of the best players in the world. But on a more positive note, it's nice not being involved in a relegation battle where you're like stressing over every single point. It's like stressing a other option where you want Champions League, you don't want to go in the Europa League, because obviously the more money you get in, the more players you can get in, and it's just class. The whole thing's just been class this whole season, apart from losing the cup final, but
swings and roundabouts. But Lee, that table.
Yeah.
We spoke at West Ham, and I said at West Ham, 70 points will be enough for Newcastle. Have this team got it in them to get to 70 points? 70 points was enough to get your Champions League football. What an effort.
It is, and look at the table. You look at Spurs in free fall, Chelsea will play in the weekend, Chelsea fighting Crystal Palace for mid-table. So, you look at Liverpool can't qualify for the Champions League. Arsenal have overachieved our Percyfield. Newcastle have overachieved. We're not. With the trajectory is woof like that. It's not. You'd normally think it's a steady graph, but it's class, and there's obviously that makes the Premier League next season really, really interesting. With probably Spurs and Brighton, another shout out as well. But the credit has to go for Eddie Howe. Pep Guardiola's won all the plaudits if he goes on and wins the treble and everything. But could Pep Guardiola do an Eddie Howe? That is the question. That is the question. But it's a fantastic achievement from everybody at the club, and all the way down from, they've even had goes that were during the season calling it blood money. They even had a go at Mad Dog Tyndall last week because he likes the centre. They're trying everything to upset the apple cart here, and they cannot. We are Champions League, and we're going to be hearing that music next season on TNT Sports, and I got it right. If you're not there, but I cannot wait, man. Something to look forward to.
Liam, the scenes at the end where the players were coming around getting a lot of appreciation, the big pictures, the interviews, and the fans giving it the big, and Eddie Howe giving it a little bit as well, which is nice to see. Do you think it's just relief, or do you think it's been actually? Is it something else? Because I'm saying relief because obviously every time we get closer and closer, Liverpool had won another game. Yeah. Man United had picked up points. Is it relief, or is it just celebration, or is it a bit of both?
I think it's probably a bit of both. I think they now can just go into the next game and just enjoy it. No matter what the result is with Champions League next season, I think that's all Eddie Howe cares about. Though I think arguably we are ahead of where we should be. I think they were aiming for just even European football, so I think they're just going to just keep going and going and going, and I think just mad what we could do next season. But I think some of the top teams will just collapse like they did this season. I think the top four's totally changed now.
It certainly hasn't. That's a really good point, actually. Do you think Newcastle have just taken advantage of a really, really rubbish situation for the likes of Chelsea, Tottenham?
No, because if you look at the points total, we've seen someone on Twitter go on, "Oh, you're only there because the other teams didn't." No, look at the points. Look at the points. You've got to get the points to qualify. And the team you want to watch out for next season for me is Chelsea, because they obviously Pochettino, they'll get rid of all of their squad players, and I think without any European football, that's the team probably to watch. But you know what? I want the group of death. I want the group of death in the Champions League.
Real Madrid, Inter Milan,
Dortmund. I'll have them all. Have them all. That's what we are. Because even if you come third, you get Europa League, which is realistically probably, as Liam just said, that's where we should be at now, and we've jumped up. And bring it on, group of death, Howe. I just want to take Johnny Broad, don't I?
No, and all look.
Window shopping in Amsterdam.
You can do that. You can do that. Liam's can't do that.
I can window shop, and I don't think I can do much.
Not in Amsterdam, you can't.
All I will say is, I think no and all look. We'll want Real Madrid. We'll want X, Y, and Z. We'll end up getting Celtic and teams that are like freezing weather.
You'll enjoy that.
Well, Celtic or Rangers, whatever. But I'm saying you'll probably end up going to Scotland instead of Spain.
But if you get out of the group, you don't know where you could end up. I think that's the most important thing. Is it doesn't matter what team we play next season. If we get out of the group, we could even. It's the stupidest thing I'll probably ever say. We could even be in the Champions League final next season, depending on the draw.
Here we go. We've qualified. You're already
thinking. We're going to win the Premier League as well.
Champions League finals at Wembley next year. Just if anybody that wants to know. Finally, Lee, before I wrap things up, just picture yourselves in the middle of September when the draw's been made and Newcastle are playing their first home game in the Champions League, and the music comes on as the players come out and the war flags put on an unbelievable flag display. How are you going to feel in that moment?
Well, I'm going to mute the video first of all, because we'll be hit with Champions League copyright. That's just the editing brain in my work, but it'll be hairs tingling, won't it? That's the thing. And the last time we did that was under Bobby, and I didn't have a season ticket then. I was just starting to go to games in the early 2002 it was. And Barcelona, the Champions League campaign when Keegan walked out was before. I was just a kid. I was 9 to 10 when that was happening, when Tino was banging in hat-tricks and stuff. But it's moments like that you want to. I mean, they still talk about the Aspria hat-trick, and that's like 25 years ago. We could make a moment next season where we go away to wherever and nick a win, or they'll come here and we'll put on a show. And so, we're getting distracted by everything going on here. But I cannot wait. It's what we do. We look across YouTube, and you've got the EFTV lads and Chelsea Fan TV, and you've got all these people that are going abroad. It's like, we've got some of that next season. We're going to take people that can't go. And the thing is, someone stopped me just before from Sheffield, said your channel's great because you put the fan right amongst your seat, and that's what we'll be doing next season for everybody who can't go.
I kind of want to ask another question about that as well, because I know this video might go on for ages and ages, but for you, Lee, there's been videos where we've, for people that don't know, we took on Arsenal on a Monday night a few years ago. We got beat 2-0, we were rubbish on the night. I think we had one shot in the whole game. It was a rubbish night. And the things behind the scenes that you don't see from him, driving through the middle of the night, stopping at service stations to edit videos for the hope that Newcastle can be a little bit better. Things like that, and you deserve this little Champions League. Liam deserves this Champions League. Everybody deserves it.
We've all got our own little storms.
Yeah, I just think every Newcastle fan who there's been a moment where gone, you know, it's been absolutely dreadful, but we'll still sell out a game. We'll still want to support the team. You know, Spurs 5-1 comes to mind, where you go to the game even though we've been relegated. All we've asked for is a little bit of hope, and thank you so much to every single person who has helped Newcastle United achieve this, because by God, we deserve a little bit of luck, a little bit of joy, and
there'll be toast, a few champagne and wine, I think, tonight.
I might even get a bottle of champagne. Liam, where in Shields are we going?
Well, probably by the time we get there, it'll be all shut, so I'm going to bed.
Tesco's just there, you know. Get yourselves a bottle for the way, yeah.
Cans. Tesco's great.
Hashtag cans.
Tesco's great. We'll wrap things up. What a season. What a season. Newcastle United are going to be in the top 4. There is still one game left, of course, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which I'll be there for the channel. But give this video a like. Tell us your moment of the season. Tell us how you're going to be watching the Champions League games. Who do you want in the Champions League? Do you want Real Madrid? Do you want Bayern Munich? Do you want Barcelona?
Because we can't talk about it now.
We can talk about it with the Champions
League.
League.
We don't have to say ifs, buts, maybes. Fucking bring them on. Bring on Real Madrid. Bring on Bayern Munich. Bring on Barcelona. Bring on Paris away. We'll have it.
It all depends on if they qualify as well, though.
Who knows? Do you know what? We'll leave it here. Big thanks to everybody that's watched Newcastle Fans TV over this year, because we always say that at the end of the season, because without you watching and liking videos and subscribing to the channel, you know, we wouldn't be as what's the word, successful, is it, in this, I don't know, in this world. But
I can hardly hear you, because my left ear's a bit drummed after that.
That's mine as well.
The celebrations.
Yeah, big thanks to everybody that's watched Newcastle Fans TV. Big thanks to him and the Facebook team as well for all your support and all your work rate as well. But yeah, Champions League, Mags. Good night.